Our human history has been evolving by forming a group of people. So every time you make a decision, the bias, aka the collective consciousness, comes in your mind more or less. So that makes it difficult to follow your true, genuine heart in this world. So let's go back to our topic. Sony A7 III. No more explanations are needed to talk about its great accomplishment for the camera industry. Sony A7 IV, the new generation, the new standard with a great upgrade from a former masterpiece. Some people still use A7 III as a workhorse, but some people say you should upgrade to A7 IV or you should get A7 IV. When I see this situation objectively, the major opinion says A7 III is a past legacy and A7 IV is a game player. But is that true? The new thing is always good? Did you see the actual difference by your own eyes? Today, I'm not here to say which is better and which is worse. I believe it depends on people. But today, I am here to reveal and show you guys the actual real-life differences between those two cameras without bias and numbers. And if you should upgrade to A7 IV from A7 III if you already have A7 III. This is not a general review on YouTube. This is awareness campaign entertainment. So first of all, let's look at the obvious difference, build quality. There are 4 major differences, but first, the grip. As soon as you grab them, you will know how much the A7 IV grip was upgraded from A7 III. It's thicker and deeper now, so holding feel got so much better. My hands are relatively big, so I just really appreciate this new A7 IV grip. And the overall body is also kind of thicker and big, so yeah, it's more secure now. And second major difference is, yes, of course, the flip screen. Even if those two cameras shoot pretty exact image quality, this flip screen is worth buying. It just helps you to shoot in any kinds of situations. Especially this will be so powerful for YouTubers and solo filmmakers like me or independent 2 or 3 people filming crew. It will make filming much easier. So the flip screen of A7 IV is a definitely great upgrade from A7 III. You know, it's just great for vlogging and the filmmaking, general. I just thought you can make whole filmmaking efficiency much better with this flip screen. Oh, by the way, the reason I look so wasted is that I climbed this one. So maybe that vlog will be on my second channel or maybe already. So yeah, you can check it out. So this was the dream, for A7 III, especially for like a street photography. We always do this vertical shot, right? But it was so hard to do that, such a low angle. So yeah, you can do this. Perfect. And third major upgrade is this photo, video, and SNQ mode switch. You can select the video, photo, and SNQ mode fast and easily. Also, this allows you to use those 3 custom dials for video and photo separately. This new function is really good for people who use a few custom settings for photo and video separately, but in the real world, I actually use only 2 things for video, like 4K 24 FPS and 4K 60 FPS, and 1 for photo, RAW. That's it. So I don't think this is a huge upgrade to me. With A7 III, I still can do that. The last major difference is buttons. A7 IV buttons have a little more depth than A7 III. I know it doesn't make the image quality better, but it just feels good. When you're pushing those buttons, you're pushing them. Just feels good, right? And the recording buttons and C1 position was switched in A7 IV, which helps a lot when you shoot yourself. Like when you stand in front of the camera, you have an easy access to the recording buttons. And A7 IV doesn't have the exposure control dial like A7 III. Instead of it, it has a custom dial, which you can apply whatever you want. Other things are same. So although A7 IV body has evolved a lot from A7 III, the body weight isn't that different. A7 III is 650 gram and A7 IV is 658 grams. So the tiny difference, only 8 gram difference. I just want to send maximum appreciation and respect to Sony for this great upgrade, especially the grip and screen without gaining a bunch of weight. But the price difference is huge. Now in US dollar, A7 III body is about $2,000 and A7 IV body is $2,500. You can get A7 III used one with around like $1,500 or something like that. So there is about $1,000 difference. So now we saw A7 IV has evolved in a build quality, like not numbers. The true user experience, I genuinely think it's a massive upgrade. Numbers are so huge. We have been evolving with numbers. So they are everything. They decide everything. They have power to heal and kill people. The funny thing is, sometimes we face the moment when we have to ignore them, trusting your own eyes, not numbers. So next, let's see the video performance difference. First, 4K resolution. The website says A7 IV has 7K oversampling, which means the actual size is 4K, but the inside resolution is 7K. So more details and resolution feelings than A7 III. Let's see that in the real world. So this is from A7 III, and this is A7 IV. Both at the same time. Zoom in. Well, the sharpness is pretty much same. So different footages. So as I see, there is no detail sharpness difference, but 4K versus 7K, there gotta be something, right? But the surprising fact is coming, okay? A7 III 4K is actually 6K oversampling. Did you know that? I didn't know until now, but this website says, like official website says that. So basically it's 6K versus 7K. There is a little difference in number, but actually I can't find that. Before in the A7 IV review, I think I said I feel A7 IV 4K is clearer than A7 III, but now I know that was a stupid misunderstanding. Both 4K are pretty much same. I can't find this 1K difference in the result. So next one is slow motion. A7 IV can shoot 4K up to 60 FPS, which can be slow motion enough. To get that in A7 III, you have to go down to 1080p, but with 120 FPS, which means slower than 60 FPS. You know what? Some people is so desperate for 120 FPS, but in my opinion, 60 FPS is just enough to get smooth, dramatic slow motion. With that being said, definitely A7 IV is better at that than A7 III. Obviously, 4K versus 1080p is huge difference. So about slow motion, A7 IV has evolved a lot from A7 III. So next one is huge color and dynamic range, especially 8-bit versus 10-bit and 14 stop dynamic range versus 15 plus stop dynamic range. This number battle is something many people and creators care about. But first, before we talk about 8-bit versus 10-bit, I just want to say the Sony A7 IV improved Sony color science a lot. A7 III has a little magenta shifted color, which many people, especially Canon users, say. But in A7 IV, the problem was solved. So 8-bit versus 10-bit. Casually 10-bit can shoot more color information than 8-bit. I shot all footages on S-Log3 and color graded them in DaVinci Resolve equally. So first comparison. At the first glance, we can see A7 IV has more deeper red and yellow. It's not just A7 IV has more saturation, it's more like it has depth in colors. Other footages, yeah, especially the way the orange spreads out in A7 IV looks a little richer than A7 III. You know, it's not like A7 III 8-bit color is totally trash. If you shoot them correctly and color grade them properly, it makes the great result. But when you compare it with A7 IV 10-bit, there is a little color depth difference. I'm using both cameras pretty much equally, maybe more often with A7 III. So this color difference looked so obvious to me. If you really want to push your color grading, like not, you know, applying lots, that's it, done color grading, like proper color grading, A7 IV will be so powerful for your filmmaking. But in general use, especially for social media, I think they're not that different. You know, general people don't care about if it's 10-bit or 8-bit. I mean, even I won't notice it, but by this. And dynamic range. In S-Log3, A7III can shoot on 14 stop, A7IV on 15 plus stop. Let's see the result. Honestly, I can't find that number difference in the image. Even if I look at A7IV image favorably, I don't see the dynamic range difference. Maybe if you compare those two dynamic range under the really strict scientific testing environment like other tech YouTubers do, maybe there will be a little difference. But in the real life, in the actual shooting environment, there isn't. So next one is image stabilization. There was a huge difference in that. Of course, that was handhold. A7III was on an original image stabilization and A7IV was on the new mode, active IS. See, A7III is not that bad, but A7IV is much smoother. You know, I walked very normally, like not gimbal walk, but if I do that, it will be more smoother. This stabilization comes out from handhold, a huge upgrade. So next, autofocus. Well, I can say A7IV is always definitely faster than A7III with 100% confident. Because sometimes they are same, sometimes either of them is faster. Both AF system is at quite high level, so I don't think AF upgrade is huge. So last thing off video performance is of course low light performance. You know what? I found out one thing through this low light test. Of course, in general, A7IV was better than A7III in low light situation, but more than that, I realized how this A7III is really great in low light. First comparison, at ISO 6400, the noise difference is not that huge at this point. Sure, A7III starts breaking color a little bit, but this result without noise reduction is amazing. At ISO 12800, still A7III is catching up with A7IV, but obviously the shadow is shifted to weird magenta now. And for detail and sharpness, they start making difference. So obviously A7IV has a good low light upgrade from A7III. But also, now we know A7III is still great in low light situation, even with a high ISO. You know what? I thought A7III with 12,800 ISO would be totally garbage, but yeah, it's still usable. Surprising result. So at the last, let's talk about photography performance. I promised it won't be that long. So 33 megapixel versus 24 megapixel. Of course, when you just look at them side by side, nothing is different because lenses are same, settings are same, so just resolution is a little different. So yeah, let's zoom in. Well, do you see any difference here? Come on, 33 megapixel versus 24 megapixel, there gotta be something. The different footages. Yeah, I think really small sharpness difference is right here, but really small. I feel A7IV looks a little clearer than A7III now. The line in A7IV image is a little sharp. At the first photo, which is a little crowded, I didn't notice this, but in the simple image, yes, there is a resolution difference. But you know what? It's just that difference when you see those two images with phone. Probably you won't notice it, and of course I won't notice it. When it comes to color, I guess same thing is going on as video. A7IV has more depth than A7III. When they're together, A7III looks a little faded. In low light situation, there is no difference like video. Noise is pretty much same and there is no weird color shift in A7III. So in photography performance, there is only resolution difference and plus a little color difference. Maybe when you print the image at the big size or you use image by cropping so hard, you appreciate this 33 megapixel. But in the digital life we are having these days, I guess it's not a big deal, like 24 megapixel is just enough. Okay, that's it. I guess that was long. I really hope you guys are still right here. So through this video, I just want to say one thing. Relax. Of course, as we saw, A7IV has better build quality and a little video performance upgrade. About build quality, definitely a huge upgrade. Once you hold A7IV, you don't want to go back to A7III. About video, yeah sure, color and image stabilization improved a lot, but it's just you don't have to rush into it. I mean, it's not the massive huge deal like you have to jump around with a tequila shot at 2 AM in the club. But yeah, I know what you feel. You know, everyone says A7IV is better, saying you should get A7IV. So I understand you kind of have no choice but going to that party because everyone else does. But when we come down with a hot chocolate in a, sitting in the really comfortable fabric chair, we start knowing it's not a huge deal, especially for this YouTube, TikTok, Instagram content creation. But also let me say this, that build quality evolution is the best upgrade to me. I mean, considering that flip screen and better grip and a little image quality upgrade, this $2,500 is totally worth it, but it depends on people. Here it comes again. If you're now using A7 III and you are on the fence upgrading to A7 IV, don't yet. Because when the time comes, you have no doubt that new environment will force you to do that. And if you don't have anything but want to start, get used A7 III. Don't make me say this again. This camera is at really well balanced level. Like, it's not too good but not too bad. This camera will make you grow up as a good creative photographer and filmmaker. After that, you do the rest. I'm not your enemy, but also not the best friend. Those messages you got today could be the bias for you. It's just the consciousness I made. But there's one thing I can say: don't be swayed, play your own game. Okay, this is it. If you have any questions about this comparison, this gear, this video, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Oh, before we end this video, let me talk about my second channel a little. Did you know that? There is a second channel. So there are some casual vlogs, especially like a mountain climbing, those kind of vlogs. So if you like that, chilling, relaxing, outdoor nature, mountain, but kind of risky, kind of dangerous, kind of good vibes vlog, just check it out. So today's pretty much it, and thank you for watching this video. If you like this one, show me a thumb and then hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Today was so long, so my voice is breaking. So yeah, I gotta take a rest. See ya.